Just find a good deal and the money will magically find you.
There are millions of real estate investors out there, and most are stuck with just a couple of properties. They want financial freedom, but their small portfolio ends up costing them more in time, effort, and money than it's worth. Getting out of the rat race seems harder than ever. This show will help you do more deals, better deals, and bigger deals. Finally, you'll be able to reach your income and lifestyle goals. How? By attracting and leveraging private money partners and their capital. Now get ready to raise more money, because here's your host, Dave Dubeau.
Well, hey there, this is Dave Dubeau, and welcome to today's episode of the How to Raise Capital 101 show. And this episode is another little mini lesson that I've taught in our private Facebook group, the How to Raise Capital 101 Facebook group, which you are welcome to join. Love to have you join us. And today, we're really talking about one of the big myths that we hear over and over and over in the whole real estate game. And the myth is, hey, just find a good deal and the money will find you. Have you ever heard that one? I wish I could figure out who first came up with that, because it's been bantered around for so long, so many years, so many decades. I'd like to see whoever came up with that and smack them upside the head, because they have done so many investors a disservice. Now, on the surface, this seems to make sense. I mean, think about it. If you've got an amazing deal, it should be just a no-brainer for people to invest with you. However, it doesn't work that way. You can have the best deal in the world, but if you're desperately trying to raise money for it, that desperation is going to ooze out of every pore in your body. So the gurus, once they've built up a platform, once they've got a bunch of crazy fans that love them and just can't wait for the next thing, yes, this is true for them. But for you and I, as a mom and pop real estate investor, especially when we're just getting started with raising capital, there's nothing further from the truth. So today we're going to take a deep dive into this whole myth. Just find a good deal and the money will find you, which I think is complete baloney. And we're going to show you what you need to do instead. So pay close attention and apply this for yourself when it comes to raising capital. Enjoy.
Got a really good deal and it's looking like you're going to be able to get your investor partners an amazing return on their money. Why shouldn't you be just able to go out, tell people about this, and they'll be beating down your door? All right. Well, my personal experience has been that is actually the worst time to be looking for money, when you got a really good deal on the go, unless you've got something else in place first. But let me tell you a little brief story about my own experience around all of this. And I remember it vividly. It was 2011, I believe it was. I had this really good rent-own deal on the go, perfect tenant buyers, everything was lined up. I needed about $80,000 to close on the deal and get everything going. I had everything structured so I could see there was a really good return on investment for investor partners. And I thought, okay, great. Up until then, I'd self-financed several deals, had them on the go, but I hit the wall, ran out of cash for more down payments. So I thought, okay, well, I've got this really good deal, so I should be able to just go and find some investors. But I hadn't lined anybody up ahead of time. So I was starting from scratch. I was starting cold. So I tried all the old stuff that you're supposed to try, dialing for dollars, cold calling. Did that, flopped miserably, got shot down in flames. I heard, hey, turn every conversation into a real estate conversation. So I went out, networked up a storm, got shot down in flames again. I heard, maybe it might be a good idea to email everybody I know about this particular deal and see what sticks. So that was the only thing I did that actually looked promising, because I sent out an email to several hundred people with a little deal synopsis and saying, hey, are you interested? And I was kind of excited because I started getting some replies back until I started opening up those replies. And some of them were pretty nasty because these folks hadn't heard from me for a long time. And here I am coming right out of the gate with, hey, it's Dave. I got a good deal. You got any cash? All right. That didn't go over very well. Very, very clumsy, very stupid on my part. Okay. So that's 2020 hindsight. Bottom line, I had a great deal. I didn't have the money lined up first. I got an extension on it, still couldn't raise the capital, ended up having to collapse that deal, lost out on that, got massive egg on my face with the client I was working with, the realtor I was working with, the lawyers, the sellers, everybody. I just looked like a complete schmuck because, quite frankly, I was. All right. So here's my take on why that didn't work. There's several reasons that didn't work. First reason is desperation, right? Because when you got a deal on the go and you're kind of there's a time crunch, you're going to come across as, unless you're an amazing actor, you're going to come across as desperate and needy. Why? Because you are desperate and needy. You need that cash to close on the deal. So it's all about, it's all about desperation, and that kind of seeps out of your pores, right? People can smell it. People can sense that, and it actually repels them. It turns them off. Even Steve Chandler says needy is creepy, right? So we don't want to be needy, don't want to be creepy. So that's why I think just find a good deal and the money will find you is malarkey. And what you need to do instead is have your investor partners lined up ahead of time, have people that have already put up their hand and said, yeah, you know what, Dave, when you do find a deal, let me know about it. I'll be interested. I'd really like to see what it's all about. Ideally, you've got some folks already pre-qualified for financing so that when you've got a deal, you can go to them and bing, bang, bong, off you go to the races. Does that make sense? So it's all about find the investors first. Then when you've got that good deal, you've got that short list of hot to trot prospective investors, and you can basically say, hey, who wants in? First come, first serve. Much, much better place to be in. You're not desperate, right? You're not needy. You're just saying, hey, I've got this opportunity that you're already interested in. Are you ready to pull the trigger? Absolutely makes a huge difference. All right. So now a little tip here for you. I always suggest, if you're going to have a pool of potential investors ready to go in the wings, always have at least twice as much money as you think you're going to need spoken for. What do I mean by that? Well, chances are you're not going to be getting these investors to cough up 100 grand or 150 grand or 75 grand or whatever it is and have it sitting in a bank account waiting for your next deal. That's not usually how it works. Typically what you're going to do is you're going to have a bunch of people say, yeah, you know what, Dave? Yeah, if you find a good deal, I could invest 75 or 100,000 or whatever your minimum is. Let me know about the deal when you're ready. Okay, so that's good. That's a good prospective investor, but it's not money in the bank yet. So, for example, if you know that your average deal you're going to need to raise $100,000 for, I would say have at least $200,000 in the wings, because by the time the smoke clears, by the time the rubber hits the road, by the time it's time to cut that check, time and circumstances, life and circumstances sometimes get in the way. So, folks might, life happens, right? And big expense might come up. They might not be able to invest right at that time. Or something else came up and they've already invested that money in something else. So always have at least twice as much as you think you're going to need in the wings, and then you should be safe. Take care. If you're an active real estate investor who's looking to supercharge your portfolio growth right now, and you don't want to wait for all the knowledge, strategies, and how-tos to be slowly dripped out on this podcast feed every week, then I invite you to book a Capital Clarity Call right now to discuss our done-for-you Capital Launchpad marketing program.
A lot of people want to invest now, and I have all these meetings and I have all these appointments and phone calls, and I'm like, what?
This is the program that I've created that has already helped over 200 real estate investors to raise 6 figures of private money in a matter of weeks, and even 7 figures in a matter of months, and grow their portfolios like never before.
Pretty much right off the bat, once we started the marketing campaign, that turned into us raising $300,000, which turned out to be amazing.
I invested in your program, and within 60 days, I raised to the tune of $750,000.
The Capital Launchpad is where my team and I personally work with you to find your perfect investors and get them booking meetings with you instead of you chasing after them. We get you easy and profitable investor meetings booked without any salesiness or high-pressure shenanigans. Meetings that actually get investors on board with your deals without turning people off or getting rejected. And the best thing is, because we do all the heavy lifting for you,
you can focus on the most important things. Number one, talking to investors, and number two, managing your growing real estate portfolio.
My intent was, hey, if we could raise $1 million in capital, that would really keep the ball rolling. And almost kind of there, we've only done 2 newsletters and 1 video. That's all we've done. We're 1 month in.
The booking link is in the show notes, or you can visit bookachatwithdave.com. It only takes a few minutes to book your call and fill out the questionnaire. Then we'll have about a 30-minute Zoom conversation where my team and I can dive into your current situation. And we can give you a concrete set of next steps on how to break through your current capital challenges.
As of today, over the past, I would say 4 weeks, we've just brought in $900,000.
Sometimes those next steps will be inviting you to join the program. But actually, more often than not, it doesn't involve inviting you to join the program because it's not always the right fit at the right time. And that's okay.
I honestly wasn't 100% confident when we started to work with you about finding money and whether Jamie and I would be able to do it. But now, people are throwing money at us, and not just a little bit of money.
Our goal for you is to leave the call with a clear action plan, whether it's working personally with us inside our program or not.
So he got really interested and he wanted to invest in us $400,000 to $500,000.
Yes.
We won't be able to do this without you guys.
Yes.
With the videos, the e-zines, the websites, and the guidance on how to present our presentations. So it's a lot of help for us.
I thought we couldn't do it, but
we did it.
So if you're a real estate investor who's committed to doing more and better deals using investors' capital this year, and you want to shortcut all the trial and error and implement what actually works, then just book a Capital Clarity call right now.
My investment in your program has already been paid back to me 6-fold.
It works. It works.
I'm really happy as well. This works.
And by the way, thanks for everything. I have to tell you that. Thanks for everything.
And you want a couple faces to show up and say, hey, it works? Let us know. We'll come and vouch for you.
Worst case scenario, we get together and chat for 30 to 45 minutes and give you some free advice. The link to apply is in the show notes, or go to bookachatwithdave.com.